Hey, Fed heads, welcome back to another episode of Cigar Chat. We're here live on Facebook. We're broadcast around the world on the Armed Forces Radio Network, and of course available at our home, Cigar Federation, and available wherever you get your favorite podcasts. I'm Tripp, here with my co-host Jason. Jason, how you doing today?
Doing good.
Awesome. And of course, we're here with Phil Zanghi from Debonaire Cigars.
Good evening, everyone, and the whole world combined.
Jason and I, of course, are smoking the classic Debonaire Maduro. So to get us started, let's talk a little bit about your classic lines, the Habano and the Maduro. Just tell us kind of what people can expect, like, you know, if they've never had them before.
It's going into the 5th year now with Debonaire. I brought it out to try to bring out a real, unique, authentic brand that I kind of saw from all my years in the industry and being out of the premium industry and the machine-made industry, but during that hiatus in the machine-made world for about 8 years, I saw that there was a hole in the whole industry, which you had the old guard and you had the new guard, and what I wanted to bring out is it's not a lifestyle, more of a way of life. And what I wanted to do is it's a movement, it's an ideal. And what I came up with is a unique way to do a process that I learned from making pipe tobacco and stuff, which I call it alchemy, tobacco alchemy. I use distilled water to generate steam, and it's after the final curing process. What we do is we put it into a room and we introduce that steam to it. We bring it to a certain degree, we flush the room, bring it up, and what happens is that the molecule, to the molecular level, the distilled water attacks impurities on the leaf, and when it evaporates, it brings them off. So it leaves basically what you want to leave is the essential oil. Tobacco is essentially one of the most low contents of essential oil, only 2 to 3%. So my first stab at bringing cigar premiums back, ultra premiums, was the Habano line, which I've been told, and what I think myself, it has more of a beefy, prime rib, fatty taste. And then the second coming was the Maduro, which is a Connecticut River Valley broadleaf, cured to perfection. It's got more of you got your sweet raisiny taste with that deep, rich flavor. And now the new inception, what he just came out with, is the Debonaire Daybreak, which is an Ecuadorian Connecticut that we cure for a year. So we get some of that green taste that people kind of are accustomed to with the Connecticut. Still has a nice yellowish color, but it's got less of that vegetable bite, you know. So, and it's the same core blend, but the only difference is that on the rest of my blends, as the original blends, as is the Maduro and the Habano, I use the high primings of the Seco Viso Ligero. But on the Daybreak, I use the lower primings. I use the low Seco, the low Viso, and the low Ligero. So the thinner leaves, it's still alchemized. It's got a little bit of a smoother flavor, and with the Connecticut, so you get that Debonaire taste, but it's more buttery and creamy, and it's just it's a more mellow on the palate. So that's, you know, that hence the hashtag, you know, have a nice daybreak. And if you see when you see it out in the store shelves, you see the new inside lid cover is the Debonaire man with his wife on the porch in the morning, enjoying a cigar and a coffee, and you know, reminiscing of the days before. If you see the inside lid of the Habano, was them going from the plantation, from the farm to the docks, is in the Maduro on the inside lid, them delivering the rum barrels, getting money. Then there's other ones to come, but then the third inception is them the next day. He's telling his wife what happened and how things are, and he's smoking a cigar, and she's, you know, they're having coffee and they're having a good time.
That's awesome. I really like that you tell a story with just the boxes even, and the theme really fits with the cigars.
That's what I tried to do. I tried to do something that was unique. You know, I looked at everybody else that was doing stuff out there. It's black and white. There's no name on the box. There's only the lid on the top. On the top, there's the big medallion that's in metal, the Debonaire medallion. And when you open it up, it's just a scene. And then people, what I did that for also was so it helped the actual store owner, where someone goes in and goes, "Hey, what's that? Oh, you haven't seen that?" So now he takes the cigar off, because that's how you see the logo. He hands it to the guy. Now the guy's interacting with him instead of the other way around. So I'm aiding, you know, it seems that way in sales. So now once something's in your hand, the high percentage is that you're going to try it, buy it, and enjoy it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Now with the Connecticut, what made you go with the Ecuadorian Connecticut? There's a lot of people who are moving away from the kind of U.S. Connecticut, which is obviously the classic format. And everybody's moving towards Ecuadorian. I just like to kind of get people's take on what they like more about Ecuadorian than American.
Business-wise, yield. Higher yield, higher quality, thinner vein, because in Ecuador they don't have to grow it under shade because of the cloud cover. You get 33.3% light dissipation from God given, divinely given. So, but like we don't have to spend the money on the shade and whatever. But also it yields higher. It's to me it has less of that vegetable taste, and then once you cure it, it gives it a nice high golden yellow, which the Connecticut from Connecticut is prettier, in my opinion. It's that you can get lower primings, you can get lower grades, and you get that high yellow out of it. But in turn, it doesn't give it for me. It never gave me that flavor. And I worked diligently for the last 5 years to come out with a Connecticut because everybody wanted a Connecticut, and to find something that met my flavor profile and my client's flavor profile that I think that they would enjoy, to give yourself a full flavored Connecticut that would have legs, that would actually get in people's hands and people would want to go out and buy, And the packaging's all been redone for Debonaire. You saw at the show. You came by and saw me. We made it way more. We upgraded it. It's just a progression. But the Daybreak did absolutely bonkers at the show. It was like, it's just if you pray long enough, God talks back to you. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's all I'm trying to say.
Jason, do you have any questions?
Yeah, so when you were approaching the Connecticut, like what was the couple things that you were really looking for in a Connecticut cigar to represent you and your brand?
Something unique, something authentic. I know I beat those words up, but something that had a lot of flavor, but a light cigar, so to speak, but with full flavor. Something that was effortlessly to smoke, had that beautiful construction, it's the same as the Debonaire guys are smoking, but imagine that, dialed down 50%.
Yeah.
Right? But you still get those nuances of the fattiness and the creaminess and but what's weird, when I wrapped, I just had some Connecticut laying around, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to wrap the original cigar. And I did it, and I gave it to a bunch of people, and they're like, man, they give that, I call it the Debonaire look, that people when I first started, the price was expensive and everything. When they'll look at me, and then they'll look at the cigar, then they'll look back at me, and I know I got them. They're like, what, man, this is something, And I gave them the Connecticut, they did that same look. What is this? I'm like, it's a Debonaire. That's not a Debonaire. I'm like, that's the Daybreak. They're like, man, Zanghi, you got something here. This is like, I'm not going to use the other companies' names, but the bigger Connecticut companies, that's the killer. That's the one that takes out the other guy. I don't want to take nobody out, but I want to compete on that level. Because if you look at the actual, business aspect of the cigar industry, the number one selling wrapper, configuration is Connecticut. It is. You got the Davidoffs, you got the Astons, you got the Macanudos, and those ones by far outsell everything else. Year after year.
I think that if you can come out and offer a more flavorful Connecticut, then that can be a good gateway for people to get into some of the fuller strength stuff.
That's the trick. You got to work your way up the line. Like when I brought my sizes out, I strategically, had patience, basically looking at what was out there. So how I strategically planned, at first I brought out a Solomon, a crazy big size, and a Robusto and a Bellicoso, 2 figurados, right? So knowing there, if people would buy those, I know that people would like that blend because those are hard sizes to sell. So from there I added a Toro, and then I added a Saguita, right? A Petit Lancero. Then I added the first degree. So basically, first degree you get in. Saguita in Latin means arrow, points the way. And then you work yourself to the Robusto, the Toro, and then the Bellicoso, right? And I also priced everything very close. Like the Toro and the Bellicoso are the same price. And the Habano and Maduro are the same price. So I wanted people to jump inside my own brand instead of jumping to other brands.
Yeah.
So basically, you got the offering all the way up, and every year I strategically brought a smaller size out instead of going crazy big. So now I went down the chain. So now, as you said, that will bring people in. Now, hopefully, as you say, you're targeting one of my main aspects is that the Daybreak will bring people into the Debonaire line more, and then they'll be interested in to try the other offerings.
Yeah, it seems like that's a lot of the strategy with a lot of companies lately is come out with a Connecticut because the guy who smokes only Connecticut's, he walks in and he looks for the yellowest cigar he can find and just grabs it. And if you can hook him with something really good, that he's not expecting, that's going to bring him more into kind of the like that cigar geek mentality where he's going to think, if that guy makes that cigar, maybe I should try that other one that he makes.
That's it. I mean, that's the point of the exercise, you know? I mean, you get a Connecticut with flavor and say, man, if this tastes like this, I wonder what the other ones taste like. Exactly.
And I had a question and I lost it. Jason, do you have another one? While I'm trying to remember this.
Yeah, so when you were looking at the Connecticut, I looked recently, and you have a wide variety of sizes, from small to big. Did you kind of have all those sizes planned out, or did you kind of start with a core group of sizes and then try to build on that?
What I did is I had the Solomon, the Bellicoso, and the Robusto. Robusto's the best-selling size there is. Bellicoso's I always liked, and the Solomon was just like the limited edition. And then I looked around what was being offered out there and talked to a lot of store owners and stuff, and they were saying like they like the Petit Lancero or a Lonsdale or a Corona. So I did that. In the first degree, the Toro was a given. I mean, that's the number. That's the other second best-selling size. But with the first degree, what I did is there was another company out there that would give a really short cigar as a sample cigar during their events, so you could taste the flavor of it. So I started making those first degrees and handing them out for free. And people were like, hey, when are these coming? I'm like, no, these are like event cigars. These are for you guys to taste it, enjoy the flavor, and go buy a bigger one. They're like, man, you're crazy, man. I'll buy a box of these right now. Right? I'm like, really? I'm like, yeah. So I went back into the drawing board, had to, narrow down the box to make that medallion because they fit all the same size and everything. And I mean, that's probably, if not my best seller, my second best seller there is. First degree sell. I mean, people buy box upon box of them because they're a great quick stick. You need about 4 or 5 of them. You put them in your pocket. You smoke it. You get down to the nub. You throw it away. 20 minutes later, you smoke another one. I mean, it's a good, full flavored, real premium cigar in a small format that you get a lot of flavor from. It's not, doesn't leave you wanting,
So you've talked about the cigar alchemy a little bit already. Mm-hmm. How in the world did you come up with that? Were you just like thinking about different ways to process tobacco and you kind of figured it out?
What I wanted to do is for pipe tobacco, we bought a company that my group, not me, the group I work with, work for, partners in, client of, all of it. Put me on the task to buy. They bought a company called House of Windsor in Pennsylvania. So, long story short, we went down all the pipe making equipment. There's some famous brands, Black Argonacy, Barking Dog, stuff like that. I learned from there how they do casing and steaming and all this different stuff. And there's band conditioners that when you thrash tobacco, you steam the tobacco, goes in at 14%, comes out at 25%, humidity points. So when you thrash it, the vein is soft, so it strips the leaf off. So I took from that, and what I wanted to do basically is reduce the sauce by half. Take that great tobacco, get all the impurities off of it that were put on there by people's hands and pesticide, fertilizer residue, hard water, and stuff like that, and remove all that and get back to what the leaf should exactly be, untouched. And so with steam, you kills all bacterias. You get all that stuff off. When it evaporates, it pulls off all the heavy stuff. And what it leaves is that essential oil, which is we all love about cigars that we don't realize. That's what you're always searching for, is that kick, that wow, that woo, that not strength, the flavor is what we're looking for. So I wanted to be full flavor. So that was my mission, and it took some time, but I figured it out. I lost a lot of tobacco, but luckily we have the machine-made part, so we thrashed that up, and and it went right in the machine-made. Put some great flavor on it, and it's down off to the races.
All right, we're gonna take a quick sponsor break here. We'll be right back.
Brought to you by Gurkha Cigars. Gurkha Cigars, makers of the world's finest cigars. Try the 93 rated Heritage featuring Rosado, Ecuadorian Habano wrapper, Nicaraguan binder, and Dominican, Pennsylvanian, and Nicaraguan fillers. Blended by Gurkha's blending team at American Caribbean Cigars, it is hand-rolled Nicaraguan, available in 35-count boxes. Talk to your local B&M about the Heritage today, or talk to them about other fine Gurkha cigars. Whatever your taste preferences, Gurkha has a cigar that's right for you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, welcome back to Cigar Federation, Cigar Chat, with Phil Zanghi from Debonaire Cigars. Phil, while we were off the air for a second there, you were talking about where you're broadcasting from. Can you talk about that a little?
I'm broadcasting now from Barrister Cigars in Union, New Jersey. this place was the first place ever to have Debonaires on the shelves in the United States of America or the world. I met the owner, Dave Malo, and I met him in New Orleans in a cigar shop before I even was making Debonaire. We became friends. We sat there for hours and talked. And the next day, he went back to the show and talked to a mutual friend of ours and said, you know what, I met either the biggest bullshitter in history or the most interesting man I've ever met in my life. And the mutual friend said, hey, what's the guy's name? And he said, well, his name's Phil Zanghi. And he says, well, everything, he only told you half of what the truth is, and you got to believe everything he says, you know? And we became friends from there. Then we by chance, we were together in Nicaragua, and during one of the cigar fest down there, and I was down there purchasing a short filler and a thrashing machine from this lady that her husband died, and him and I we love books. We up the premium again. Because if you make a premium, I'll sell it in my store, sight unseen. So basically, I came out with it. He came to the first show, took some cigars home with him, and they were on the shelves. And from that point on, I've done pretty much every launch in the Northeast at his shop. He's the first person to ever have Daybreak in the States right now. I mean, he's the first person to actually launch, first official launch, really, you could say, is here at Barrister's in the Northeast here in Jersey. And I've known him from here. They've been crucial in my success, and not just my success, and just kind of guiding me on the path of, just being honest with me about, what I'm doing, tell me if my cigar is good or bad, or how it can be better. And I stayed so long in this business because I thrive more on critique than praise, and I don't buy into this whole success and fame. And I mean, I'd rather be well-renowned and well-regarded, well-liked than famous any day. And I really believe in the friendship and partnership, and with Dave Malo, and there's a couple other stores across America that are like this for me. But Dave's like my family. He's been down to the Debonaire house how many times, Dave?
Oh, 4, I think.
Four or five times. We make a house cigar for him. Yeah, it's thick.
Yeah, I've had that one actually.
Thick as Steve. Yeah, the verdict.
Yeah,
it's just good times. That's what this business needs to be. Is fun. Yeah, it's a business. Yeah, we're in this to make money. Let's not fool each other on that. But can't you have fun doing that? And I mean, I have the best job in the world. A lot of these guys complain about being on the road and stuff. I love being on the road. I miss my family terribly. But I mean, I plan it strategically. But this is what it's all about. I mean, these guys complain all the time. I hear stuff, God bless them all. But I mean, I'm sitting in a leather chair, smoking a cigar and air conditioning. I mean, that's not a bad job.
Not at all.
Honestly, I'm like, half the time, I'm like, look, I'm working my ass off. They're like, yeah, I guess. Wow, I want your job. I'm like, yeah, you mean, hey, I'll give you my bills for a month and we'll see. Like, no, yeah. But no, you want to say hi, Dave? Here's Dave. I want you to see Dave. This is Dave Malo. Number one with a bullet. That's the man with the plan. Integral. Guys like this are the whole key to the industry, And you need some real honest engine guys there that are telling you the truth, You know what I mean? And then once I got Debonaire House really moving, I got Indian Motorcycle back, got the trademark Full Flow. He took that out. We launched it here. We did, and if by chance there was an Indian Motorcycle dealer not a block away. It's kind of it's crazy. It's crazy, But no, it's just great. I mean, I mean, I'm long-winded, guys. But I mean, I love what I do. I wouldn't want to do anything else. I got great support from people like you, and you've heard and talked to me enough that this isn't like a pitch, or this isn't I'm not a flim-flam man. This is what I really do for a living. This is my life's work,
Yeah, I can absolutely see, like, I've heard that story, and I know who the mutual friend is, and I've heard that story from several people, and I can completely understand how people would see you that way. People would be like, this guy is just making stuff up, telling stories, and it's all true. Like, it's unbelievable.
I'm the Guinea Forrest Gump, put it that way. That's how I feel about it. That's how I feel about it half the time. I mean, I got so blessed and so lucky during the 90s to go down there and have all this bad stuff happen in my life with my father losing Indian Motorcycle and all this craziness, and to end up in Donley, Honduras, and mentor and under the masters, Nesta Plasencia, Julio Roa. There's so many other guys that were there, Don Avelio, all these great guys that were. It was like I was with Michelangelo. I was like apprenticing under Michelangelo and Raffaello and Da Vinci. I didn't even know it. I'm like, You know what I mean? And now these guys, kids, are like the boss of the bosses. And I mean, I talk to them; they're like family to me. They look at me, they're like, "Hey, it's Phil, man." It's like this guy's been out of his mind. I mean, it's kind of amazing what's going on, you know. And I guess if you stay around long enough, man, you become part of the club, you know.
Yeah, and that's kind of come full circle for you, hasn't it? I know that you've been involved in a couple other newer brands. One of which is Cattle Baron, right?
Absolutely, awesome, awesome guy. You need to get him on the show. What's your involvement
there? Yeah, he's in the plan. We want to get him on eventually.
First off, Brian Massard is probably one of the individuals I've ever met in my life. He personifies Americana. He personifies a hard-working man, and he's just the epitome of a cattle rancher and a cowboy and just a great guy. I blended the cigar for him. It was like a 2-year odyssey. He kept wanting to make a cigar and do all this stuff, and I'm like, look, you don't want to get in this industry, man. Stick with cattle. He goes, no, I'm in the vodka industry too. I'm like, that's great. He knows I smoke dirts. I smoke this stuff. I smoke that. I'm like, look, I don't know. So busy. It's not even that. I don't know if you want to get in this. He came and visited me. I said, you come down, it's 50% of the way. If you come down, we'll sit down and we'll blend your cigar. And then we worked on it, and I made him something unique, and he loved it, and he took it back to his friends, and he got partners, and it's like a whole outfit. It's like an actual real outfit, like in the Old West, of a bunch of cattle ranchers. And then we started to do the stuff for him, and then I said, well, okay, it's my turn. So I went out after 2 RPCPRs ago. I flew out to Montana and stayed with him for 7 days and went all over Montana with him. Rode on his ranches on horseback, moved cattle with him, and his family quizzed me, you know, and I could see what they were up to. Like, one would ride with me, and the other one would go away. The other one would ride with me. And it was, I mean, I love the Louis L'Amour stuff, so I love all that. And it was, they're like, you're a real guy. I'm like, look, man, I'm just going to tell you the truth all the time. This is not an easy gig, but I think your dad can really do it because he's a hard worker. And he has on his own, man, you know. And I mean, I help him every way I can, you know. But he's just another one of those. He's the Western Debonaire. I think that's how I look at it. Yeah, he really is. And if you look at the packaging, I designed it for him. We did the inside lid for him. I mean, I came up with a box that, you know, that was like he let me have he asked me, you know, and he of course had final say on everything. He said, what do you think about this? Like an old ammo case. This is an old thing, you know, look at the inside lid. And he had the idea also that everybody signed the bottom of it. It's like a stock certificate, you know, like a livestock certificate. And you see like the image of the Old West. And I was like, look, I can see the CB, like, you know, the old painting on the old saloon that was in, you know, in the Old West, like, where Wyatt Earp was and where Doc Holliday. You see, if you look at it, it's reminiscent of, like, you know, of the old OK Corral, you know, in Tombstone. If you look at the CB, it looks like something would be painted on the window of like a saloon, you know, and it's a horseshoe, so it's a good luck charm. I mean, it was just, I had fun with it, you know, and he dug it, and he was like, man, you got it, you know, and he's just a great guy, and I'm blessed to be involved with two great people, you know, and he's doing well with it. It's growing.
Yeah, it definitely is. I'm really looking forward to getting him on the show and kind of learning his side of the story and everything, and, you know, trying the cigars, of course.
You'll love him, man. He'll send you steaks. Watch, he'll send you vodka and steaks. I mean, I told him, I said, you know what, you got the best thing, dude. You got like thousands of heads of cattle. I mean, if you send some guy in the store some freeze-dried steaks and a bottle of vodka and some cigars, I guarantee he's going to check your samples. You know, and he's done it. He's done a bunch of great stuff. He's great. He's awesome.
And so this is kind of just something I was wondering for some of our viewers. Are your cigars distributed outside the U.S.?
Yeah, I just actually landed a deal with Brigham in Canada for the Indian line, and we're working out how to get Debonaire up there. I'm going to Dortmund. I fly from here tomorrow, from Jersey to New Orleans, because my partner Danny Sinclair, the other founder of Debonaire House, his son's getting married, and I don't think I talk enough about Danny either. Danny's the integral in my life. He's like my best friend. He helped me get sober. He's been with me since the Indian days. I helped him develop the blunt wrap. We worked together on every aspect, and his son's getting married. You know, I watched his son grow up. So I'm going to go there. Then from New Orleans, I go to Dortmund, Germany, and then we do the Dortmund show, which now I'm getting in Europe. You pray for me, guys, and wish me the best of luck, because I'm trying to close some distributors there and get the Debonaire ideal to go through Europe. And I'll stay after the show in Belgium, in the Benelux countries, and go visit a bunch of people. We have a couple of events planned, and just have some fun over there with the Europeans, you know?
Nice.
Go straight old school.
Awesome.
Nice.
We have one more break to take, so let's go ahead and do that now. We'll be right back.
This show is sponsored by Cigar Oasis. Don't spend all your time worrying about your cigar wrappers cracking, splitting, or falling apart from humidity fluctuation issues. Set it and forget it by choosing Cigar Oasis, a professional solution which provides equal distribution of humidity with precise electronic controls. Monitor your cigars through the internet using the Smart Humidor Wi-Fi attachment. Why don't you spend all your time enjoying your cigars and relaxing and let Cigar Oasis protect your cigars? Cigar Oasis has solutions for any humidor. Make sure you set it and forget it today.
Air conditioning?
What were you saying, Phil? You had just kind of, little story about your air conditioning in the hotel.
Yeah, and then basically I turned off the air conditioning, but then I talked into my phone and said, the down app for noise of air conditioning. And it came up an app that has the same sound as an air conditioning unit. So you can sleep. I swear. And I turned it on. And it was like, it sounded like an air conditioning. I'm like, this is pretty cool. Then I'm like, it was just strange. They had fans, fan sound, every sound you can think of. It was amazing. I know water and rain, but you think air conditioning sound? And it actually was on a YouTube. And it was a picture of like a wall unit air conditioning, like in a hotel. I swear to God, it was weird. It was just weird. It was cool weird. Welcome to the world of technology, right?
You get that weird thump when the thing kicks into gear.
Yeah, exactly. That's now you actually feel colder. It's weird, man.
All right, Jason, I've been hogging all the questions. You have any other burning questions for Phil?
Okay, so at this point, I mean, Debonaire's pretty well established. You have a good line of cigars going. What's kind of your real focus for the brand right now? Is it just kind of distribution and kind of getting it out there more?
More spreading the ideal, getting the movement strong, building on the foundation that I have, and going back to the original stores in the regions, and getting them more back online and just strengthening it there at the core, and then also building new areas out west. Actually, in the last year, it's been really amazing for us in Arizona. Has been amazing. The West Coast is picking up, believe it or not, for us. Texas is a stronghold. I'm building on that, and just build the brand. I mean, it's got somewhat of a following. I've gotten through the beginning hard times and all that, and then the growing pains of new distribution and going from 100 stores to 600 stores and all that good stuff, and then get Indian back and launching that, and then bringing out FDA looming and all this other stuff that's going on. But it's just it's not really known yet. It's known, but it's not known. I mean, it's still a new brand. So, I mean, it's still got at least 10 years of true building to make it a household name, so to speak, and that's the fun part of it. And with Indian also getting into so many different venues, it helps bring Debonaire in. But put it this way, the show Debonaire sold more than Indian, and that's saying something. Yeah. And I was surprised.
That really is.
Yeah, and that means Debonaire is actually, all the stuff I've been talking and pushing and the ideal and the movement is taking hold, and people are now finally realized. It took 5 years, Usually it takes, sometimes you never get there. Sometimes, it can take 20 years or just flash in the pan, but the slow growth has been working,
Good.
And guys like you, spreading the word,
Kind of a slightly different topic, but I haven't really spoken with anyone on the cigar side of things about like post Hurricane Irma stuff. Did that mess with any shipments coming in, or?
No, actually, I had everything shipped out and it at the warehouse in Miami with Drew before the hurricane hit, and God bless him, thank God Almighty. It didn't do anything in the Dominican Republic. It skirted us. We're very lucky in the DR because we have high mountain ranges that protect the Valley of Cibao. So it hit Puerto Plata, got a lot of water, but it skirted us and just went off and it didn't do anything.
That's great.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah, because I know that I was hearing a lot of people talk about if that thing would have hit mainland or gotten into tobacco crop areas, it could have been devastating.
It devastated Cuba. No one even really realizes that yet. I mean, it beat the daylights out. They say the tobacco's okay because it's low on the ground.
Cuba won't talk about it.
Yeah, and it's low on the ground anyway, Yeah. But God bless everybody out there from Irma and from the one that hit Houston, Harvey. It's horrible, man. But God bless everyone. I wish you guys the best. You're in my prayers. You're in all my people's prayers, and we just want you guys to be okay. We're doing an event. My brand manager, Jaron Grisano, has been integral in the success of me I have in Florida with Debonaire House, and also now he works for me as brand manager inside of Drew Estates. He's put together quickly in Miami with the people from Cigar Snob. They're doing an event for an aid to help like the children and stuff like that, and the people that got affected by the hurricane. They're doing an event, and we've already got like maybe 50 people signed up, and it's good. It's going to be good. We're giving the money to them for like food and stuff like that.
If any of our viewers want to get more information about that event, where can they get it?
They can just send it to go on my either any of my Facebook page, Debonaire Cigars, okay. Indian Cigars, Phil Zanghi, whatever. Send a request in. I'll put you through the people that are handling it, and then we can go from there.
Perfect. Do you have any more cigar questions, Jason? Because I'm almost ready to talk boxing.
We can make the transition.
Transition away.
Let's do it.
So obviously, for anybody who follows fight sports at all, there's been a couple of big weeks recently. So first, I want to hear your thoughts on the McGregor-Mayweather fight.
I was impressed with McGregor that he held in there like that the first rounds. I was also impressed with Mayweather that he came forward and fought him head to head. But I was also a little bit let down that Mayweather let it go that long. But I can understand why. I don't understand why, because he wanted the fans to think that he didn't cheat them. I can understand that. But then also McGregor, didn't he realize it was going to be a 12-round fight? Don't you train? He had 7 months to train. He gassed out so bad. And then also, I would have really liked to see him knocked out cold on the canvas. Yeah, the guy stopped it too early. And even McGregor said, I would have rather been knocked out. I don't think he would have. He says that after the fact. Everyone says that. Everybody has a plan until you get hit in the face. That's what Mike Tyson said, But it was a spectacle nonetheless. It was a great build-up. I watched it all. I watched all the prelims too, and it was. I watched with my sons, and it was okay. I wasn't let down, But I think it did a lot for both sports. I think it brought a lot of people to think about boxing again, and then MMA, of course, probably benefited way more. But it took away from a fight that happened that night too. That was a big fight. I forget the name right now. But it also took away a lot of the fanfare from the fight that's coming up on 16th with Canelo and Triple G, which is the fight of fights.
I'm looking forward to that.
Hearns Hagler, man. That's Hearns Hagler. That's Sugar Ray with Duran. This is a real deal battle of a battle. I'm so excited. I'm not going to swear. I'm so excited.
So my take on Mayweather letting it go so long is that first he wanted to see what McGregor's game plan was. He wanted to kind of, put the puzzle pieces together so he could pick them apart. But they also said before that it wasn't an official fight unless it hit the 5th round. And he did not even start throwing punches until that bell rang at the start of round 5.
Yeah,
I wanted to make sure that it was that it was a real fight on his record. Nobody could say he just went in there and beat up this guy who doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah. I mean, that's true too.
Anybody to say that he's still 49-0.
Right.
I think that's what it is. And then McGregor, they just stopped the fight a little too early. I mean, there was no way he would make it out of that round.
No.
But
he was dead to rights, man.
Yeah, I think he must have talked to the ref earlier and said, if it's getting close, just take me out of here. And then
no, I don't think so. I don't think so. I really don't. I think he was getting the ref did him a favor and didn't let him get knocked out cold. The ref did his job. He saved maybe his life, maybe not, but. Yeah, I mean, but there was this. He should have let him stand up one more time and let him wipe his gloves on the shirt and say, "You ready?" and let him bang. Yeah. I wanted that clip. And
then what about that Chocolatito fight?
That was.
It was sad to watch.
I don't know what happened. Lost the mojo, I think. I love Chocolatito. He's one of my favorites.
I mean, I don't know. After winning, he was 47-0 before, or 46.
47-0, yeah.
And I could see after winning 47 fights, losing one would really mess with your confidence.
Yeah, but then you come. It's hard, man. It's really mental. People think that these are blockheads that get in there and swing at each other. No, it is the sweet science. It's all about control. It's all about timing. It's all about slipping the jab and cutting out the corner and getting the. It's so much stuff that go into it.
Yeah, and Chocolatito just couldn't time it all during that fight. He couldn't get the timing down at all.
Zero timing. But don't take it away from the other guy. The other guy's a champion.
Oh yeah, and I was very impressed with him. I can't pronounce his name correctly, but he was really, really impressive.
They threw hands. It was beautiful. I'm glad you guys like fighting and boxing. Don't get me wrong, I love MMA too. I love it all. I love it. I love all fighting. One of my favorite, probably the second closest to boxing, is Muay Thai. I like get close circuit to that, watch that stuff. Hukami and those guys over there. I mean, they're insane. Man, you get in it with them.
Crazy.
But the thing was, this is another thing you got to think about the McGregor fight, okay? If they got in there, if McGregor got in there with Triple G, with Canelo, someone would, no.
Now Zanghi's talking about something I want to talk about.
Yeah.
I might have to interject in this conversation. No. It's Zanghi's thing.
All right, so now let's talk about Triple G Canelo. How do you think that's going to go?
I got Triple G like in the 6th.
Yeah, I think that's a good bet.
6th or 7th. There's not going to be no one now. They're going to feel each other out in the first 3. The next 3 are going to be slugfest. And then I'm thinking if it goes any longer than that, I still get Triple G on points. But I'm looking. I mean, it's gonna be great, man. I don't care.
Canelo's a heavy hitter, so if he gets one good shot in there.
But Triple G's a death hitter.
Yeah.
Triple G's he's like he'll break your neck. I mean, that guy hits like he's Ivan Drago style, man. That's like rock. That's like some kind of weird Clubber Lang punching power, I can't wait.
That's gonna be a hard hitting fight.
I can't wait. Canelo's no problem. See, you gotta understand. I really respect them both a lot.
Yeah.
This is a fight I really want to see. It's rarely there's a fight that it's not one-sided totally.
I mean, that's what's great about really high-level fighting is that whether it's MMA or boxing or Muay Thai or I don't know, kickboxing.
Yeah.
When they're at really high level, you can't say this guy's gonna win for sure. There's no because that's just kind of the nature of the sport.
Talking 2 champions, man, 2 hard hitting. They're both in super shape. There was no pulling punches on this thing. They're like ready for each other. And they're both gentlemen, And you see them both talking. They're like, Triple G doesn't say anything. And Canelo just sits there and they never learned English. He's just, I don't care. I'm going to fight. And they got the Tecate girls behind him. It's like, this is awesome. And did you see De La Hoya in the back just mad? He's just angry. He said so much shit about McGregor and them. That was so funny. That's a mother beat. Yeah. It's just good. He was upset because that took away a lot from his money. I mean, a lot of people probably paid to watch McGregor. But I saw the whole thing in Dominican Republic on Fox for free.
Yeah. In Central America, you just watch it on television.
It was all free down there because no one's going to pay that $100, so they want to build the sport up, And it's what it is. But, yeah, I'm excited, to say the least.
It's going to be a great fight.
It's going to be a great fight. Yeah, I can't wait.
All right, we're going to take our last station break here. Our ad's a little out of date. We're waiting on a new one. So we'll just say this segment is brought to you by Drew Estate. Good friends over there at Drew Estate. Smoke their cigars, go on safari, go to their barn smokers. Drew Estate's just anything you can do that Drew Estate's involved in is probably going to be good.
100%.
Including Debonaire Cigars. All right, Jason, got any other questions?
So what, when you watch boxing, do you have like a favorite cigar to enjoy while watching boxing?
Do you guys play golf at all?
The longest one I got.
I do the same thing. I usually, like, if there's a good fight on, I'll usually smoke like a Toro and then a Churchill.
I'm weird like that. I watch the preliminaries. I don't wait for I watch all of it.
I gotta watch everything.
And I like the flashes in the locker room, and then Mayweather getting his head tickled, and then I like when they're watching the wrapping the hands, and then they're hitting the mitts, and the guys they get all fired up, you know. I mean, I think it's like it gets you anxious, you know. I'd like smoke a 33rd or a couple Toros or whatever's in the human. I just go grab. I just keep getting up and grabbing stuff. I don't even know. I don't even count how many I smoke sometimes. I just go and grab stuff. And I'm not a collector like a lot of these guys. I mean, I have stuff I stash from like my original productions and stuff, but which I don't touch. But I don't collect nothing. If I got cigars, I smoke them all. You know, I bring a couple bundles home here and there. I take them out of the cello. I put them in my humidor. I got a bunch of like old Debonaire boxes, you know, and I put some that are more stronger smell of like tobacco and stuff like that. And I put stuff in there. That's it. I mean, I got 2 or 3 humidors in the house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cool. I guess one more question I had before we kind of get officially on Armed Forces Radio Network segment here was today there was some news released about I think the House of Representatives passed an exemption law as part of the
Still got to go through the Senate. Still got to go through the Senate. And still's got to go all the way up the hill to the president. No, I'm not being negative, but it is take a breath for a second. We need to all get together. We need to file lawsuits in every single state. We need to work together diligently to get this stuff off the books and to separate ourselves from the cigarette, e-cigarette, vape, all that. Because we're not that. God bless them. Let them do their business. Hey, I'm all for business, you know? But that's what it is. We got a reprieve for a moment. I got the same thing. Blew up on my phone today. Boom, boom, like 8 people sent it to me.
Yeah, it's... Even if it goes through, from what I read, the exemption would only be for the fiscal year of 2018, which would be from October of 2017 to October of 2018.
Yeah, it's a money thing. It's appropriations, right? It's the finance of the regulation. It's basically the money to use to regulate. That means to get the people to actually look at stuff and pay their salaries to go through that stuff. Right now, they're not getting paid for it, so they're not going to do it. And everything's changing all the time. You see it all the time. They extending dates, doing this, doing that. We'll see. I'm still making cigars.
I don't think anybody's ready to stop production yet. So an interesting thing you do that I'm taking my band off right now.
Yeah.
I noticed on some of my cigars that they're stamped. This one's not because I think it was a show sample.
Right.
Are you still stamping every band?
Yeah. Every band stamped. It's the day it's packed.
Okay.
And then in the perfect
stamp on mine.
Yeah. So that's what is it? Yeah. So you can say in a perfect world, Habanos are 3 months minimum, Maduros are 4 to 6 months, and then Connecticut's will be the 3 months. So I mean, and you can that's the day. Okay, the day you can go by the day it's packed, you go 3 months back, 6 months back, stuff like that. So that's the day it's actually put into the box.
Mine actually was stamped.
Yeah.
I just had one of those little runoff tears that tore right where it was.
They're all stamped, everything. I've done that since day one.
So when was the first production?
Actual first production was 2000 May 2012, and they were released in 2013.
I was in Connecticut a few weeks ago, and I went into a shop and bought a few, and they were from May 2013.
Wow, what shop was that?
What is the name? Mickey Blake's.
Really? They still have them?
I mean, there was like 2 left in this box, so I'm sure that it was getting switched at any moment.
Yeah.
And I mean, they refill boxes. I may have gotten the straggler that had just been sitting there.
Yeah, but they've done pretty good for me. How good? It was good, right?
Oh, it was great.
Yeah. I mean, when you I got some Solomons from original production still, like 500 of them. And they were cracked or the foot was bad. and I got some wrapper from Nestor that I cured for like 6 months. It was already badass, and I cured it more. I rewrapped some of those. It's like smoking. You're like you're smoking a cloud from heaven, you know? It's like the endless bowl of pasta on a cloud in heaven, you know what I mean? It's like, it was just good.
Yeah.
What else you got? What else you guys
good
think?
Cigars. I mean,
Thank you. They're good, right? They are good. You guys wouldn't be giving me love and stuff, you know? I mean, I've worked my butt off, man. I really live it, breathe it, eat it. I mean, I really prefer critique than praise, and I like when people tell me how it would make them enjoy it more. I don't think people really. There's some jerks out there. You're always going to get some that the armchair quarterback, and you know what I mean, that just want to critique people. But I've gotten really zero of that, like very little, you know. But most people they just tell me what they think would make them enjoy it more, and that's. I don't take it as being anything but just helping me out. I mean, that's what I mean. At least people care enough to tell me, you know, and not let me fail.
So our audience is slacking here. Usually we get some audience questions, and they're just slacking off. They're just watching this time. But I'm going to ask some of the questions you typically get from the audience. I know you obviously don't drink. What do you like pairing with a cigar? Is it just water for you? Coffee? Oh, yeah. How do you take your coffee? Yeah, my man.
Good stuff. In water. Water and coffee mostly, yeah, honestly. Yeah.
Okay. What about, have you ever found a food that goes well with cigars?
Steak, of course, after. Mm-hmm. Steak first, then a cigar. Spicy stuff, not really.
No, spicy stuff doesn't work with cigars.
Kind of ruins it. Anything chocolate, insane. Any dessert with creams and stuff. As long as it's not lemon or nothing, you know. You know what? Chinese food, like dumplings and stuff after?
Yeah.
Nothing. Yeah, I don't know why. It's just not the spicy stuff, you know what I mean? I mean, you're talking like, if you eat some like dumplings, some dim sum, you know, something like, I think with the rice wine and vinegar mixed with the soy and a little bit of the ginger and stuff in there, and after your palate's really attuned to something different. So when you introduce like that tobacco taste, it really enhances that kick, you know?
Mm-hmm. What were you going to say, Jason?
I was going to say that, I've done that. Like I've had a bunch of soup dumplings and then smoked a cigar, and it's interesting. It kind of changes your palate, and you get a little different experience.
Where are you at, Jason? Where you look like the Unabomber. It's like, where are you?
I'm in my shed right now, but I live in Portland.
Oh, in Oregon. Okay, right.
Yeah, he's like 15 minutes.
He's the Unabomber. That's where he was. That's where the guy was. In the shack in Portland. You guys been watching that Narcos? You watched the new one?
I haven't watched the new one yet. Jason, we were actually just talking about that the other day.
Yeah, I just finished season 3 last night.
Yeah, watched it. It's good. It's good. It's well made. The Chapo one was good too.
Yeah.
You know what
Chapo in it?
No, not in that. They had a whole one about Chapo. A whole nother series.
Okay.
El Chapo, yeah.
They did a little foreshadowing to where there might be another season of Narcos.
There's got to be. It's got to be Mexico. That's the next thing. Central America all the way up. That's it.
I got to get caught up on that show.
It's good.
It's good. It's a lot of subtitles if you don't speak Spanish, so you got to pay attention.
Yeah.
That's heavy smoking. I smoke a lot of cigars during those things.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah. What else, boys?
You got anything else, Jason?
So have you run into any just kind of unexpected troubles with supply or machinery or something like that your average person might not necessarily think of?
Not lately, no. It's gonna get tight on broadleaf, I'll tell you that. Real tight on broadleaf. There were some storms and some hail, but luckily I got last year. I bought a bunch. I spent everything. I bought a bunch of Ecuadorian shade too. I bought all my fillers. I spent all the money I made last year. I bought boxes and bands and lid covers and medallions, swag like you wouldn't believe. I have a great, like an incredible, apparel and accessory program coming out that we're going to be giving to people.
Oh man, that sounds right up my alley.
Really
You're coming up with hats.
Stuff. Amazing hats. Amazing hats. Debonaire Indian, Daybreak hats, Daybreak shirts. I got these amazing Indian keychains being made. I got these tin signs being made. You see the sign behind us? That was pieces of the old factory. That was all, let me pull it here. It's really killer. It's killer. Yeah, laser etched. You see? Hang it.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's all barboard. That's basically what it is. Tongue and groove. The factory, they were tearing parts of it down to redo it. We took them, sanded them. The old guys there made it happen. Send them up, and now we're doing a sales program right now, like a sales event, basically where if you buy 4 boxes, you get 1 free of Indian, but the first 50 people get one of these signs.
Oh, nice.
So yeah,
That's
cool. I think they'll probably be gone. But yeah, the storm kind of messed everything up for a minute, but they're probably gone already. Yeah.
So that actually reminded me of another question that I had. I wanted to talk about your factory a little bit. So you've got your own factory, right?
It's not mine. I don't own it.
Well,
I have
not
a
you
great
personally.
great partnership. Yeah, it's with the Reyes family. It's with Augusto Reyes and Nirka Reyes. People always say they're like family. These people are like family to me. It is like I feel like it's my factory. I get free reign to do whatever I want there. They work with me hand in hand, and it's De Los Reyes, right? So it's probably, everyone says it's the best. They have the best factory, but it's probably one of the best factories out there that I've seen. Really, 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 truly, tailor fit stuff. It's not boutique anymore. I don't believe in that term because I don't want to get into that whole thing. But I mean, I look at it as like we're sastres de tobacco, right? We're tailors of tobacco. We tailor fit things, custom made, And these people believe in that theory. It's all custom made. So
Yeah.
I couldn't be. They helped me. I had with Pedro Almonte too, the guy that's the general manager there. He's like my brother. I mean, it's fun going to work every day. Jean-Michel Luis that runs their line, the Saga line, and all that. He's their brand ambassador that goes on the road. He's there every day. It's just good people, Makes it easy.
Yeah.
They
And
believe
it's saying something that I've never had a construction issue with one of your cigars. Which if there's a box of cigars in a shop and I grab one cigar, that's going to be the one with construction issues.
Thank
I just
God.
have terrible luck.
Yeah.
And with yours, I've never had a problem.
They work hard, man. We have draw machines, and we have the Alejandro. He worked for Davidoff for 29 years. Now he's the head of our quality control. We were upping our game, man. We're spending our money. We need to spend it. You put it with the real players. We're building a real team over there, and these guys take it serious. From Fidel, that's the head of production, and then we got Roberto that runs all the wrapper division, and we got Chico and all those guys, all the guys that do all the sorting and the tobacco, despalillo, and the blending room and all that. These guys take it real serious, and they're all into it, and they smoke cigars, and they love the Debonaire ideal. They love everything we're doing, and they love it and having fun with it. I go back and tell them everything I do. I show them pictures, and sometimes I show these programs and stuff, and they're like, "Wow, man!" They see what they do gets in the hands of people.
Yeah,
People don't include them.
That's a thing that doesn't usually happen at cigar factories. There's a lot of the people who are boots on the ground in the cigar factory who are doing all of the rolling, the sorting, the fermentation, all of that. They don't get to see how much people are enjoying what they're working for.
No, they don't. And you can't. They're integral. I can't do all that. Come on. I mean, they're the people that make me what I am. I mean, I know that. I'm humble, man. I mean, it's like, but without them, I would be nowhere. I mean, I can't be there every single day. I can't make all the cigars. I entrust in them, and I mean, they need to reap the benefits. We throw great parties for them. We take care of them. They're my friends. I'm not like hiding in an office. I'm always walking around.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. I include them in it. I mean, that's part. It's their life's work too.
Yeah.
You gotta look at it that way.
Well, that brings us to the end of our Armed Forces Radio segment. Phil, thanks so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you guys so much. Be blessed and successful always.
Why don't you tell the people where they can reach you or learn more about your cigars?
You can go to DebonaireHouse.com. You can go to DebonaireCigars.com. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. You can go to Debonaire Cigars, Indian Motorcycle Cigars. You can reach us on all those different outlets. Phil Zanghi on Facebook. I'm always there. I check my stuff. We have a brand new website coming out. It's in construction. It's going to be insane. Have all kinds of cool stuff coming up. We're building a Debonaire Ideal experience that we're going to do in the Dominican Republic. That's going to be on the website. We're going to work with Drew Estate and work that out and try to put it through the plans and just going, upward and onward. That's it.
Awesome. Thanks, Phil.
Thank you.
Thanks everybody for watching, and thanks for the Armed Forces Radio Network listeners. We appreciate you being out there doing something that we can't do. We're just not built to do it.
God bless everybody. Be safe.